everybody, I'm that Common Rare guy, and once again I'm coming back to you making another one of these style videos. So this is a video that's going to be a little different. It's not going to be tokusatsu related. It's actually going to be related to Warhammer 40k, which if you guys have seen my live streams have known I played Space Marine 2 and a bit of other stuff. So I'm going to be talking about something that I just can't get out of my head, and this video will either do really well or really bad, and I'm willing to flip that coin. So, quick little disclaimer. I am not that old of a 40k fan. I have heard stuff every now and again in like the late 2010s about 40k or Space Marines or something, but never really got into it until one day in Washington State when I was driving around with a buddy. We passed by this board game shop, or I thought it was a board game shop, that just said Games Workshop on the building. And we went in, and immediately to the left was this giant, actual, like, plastic statue of a life-size Space Marine. Really cool stuff, great shop, one half Age of Sigmar, one half 40k, and stuff like that. Now, I didn't get into the model building till very recently. So I was at the store, picked up some books, some stuff the guy recommended to me for beginners, and then that eventually, went down the inevitable rabbit hole of all things Warhammer. And this was back in 2018. I got into the models out of just why not kind of feeling. In the beginning of 2023, I got into it as 9th edition was ending and 10th edition was releasing. So yeah, not a great time to get into the tabletop because the rules were very, very different. But anyways, story time done. Full disclaimer, I am not an expert in 40k lore. I am very new to a lot of the lore. I haven't read nearly as many books as the actual experts, and I am literally learning something new about the setting every day. But I can definitively say, out of all the lore drops in recent years, the current newest lore drop in the 10th edition Grey Knights Codex is the worst bit of lore GW has ever dropped. And there's a lot of reasons for it. And look, you can debate if you want whether it's good or bad lore, but I think, arguably, it's just bad. Like, even from GW's stance on their whole stance of their business model and what they do, it's bad. So, quick little lore behind the Grey Knights. Grey Knights are basically super Space Marines. They excel at hunting demons. That's their whole MO. And when the Grey Knights were first founded, their first Grand Master was given this little wooden box with something inside it called the Terminus Decree. Now, for years, people have theorized and debated what could be in this little box, because it was said to be given to the Grey Knights as the absolute last resort. Like, all hope is lost, everything is falling apart, reality itself is going to collapse on every front, and there's nothing that can be done about it except what's in this box. And in the 10th edition Codex, they revealed what's in the box, and holy halibut, Batman, is it bad? So here on the screen, you'll see the Terminus Decree, which is in the Codex, and you can pause to read it, but I'll summarize it. Basically, what it says is that if the Emperor of Mankind ever leaves the Golden Throne for whatever reason, like the Golden Throne completely fails because in the setting it is currently failing and they are struggling to keep it functioning, or the Emperor dies, or even he just gets better and gets out of the throne, whatever happens, it is the duty and must be the only thing the Grey Knights do is get him back on the Golden Throne. There's a lot of reasons why this is really, really dumb. The first reason is because, well, the Emperor is the strongest psychic being to live in terms of humanity, and he's a perpetual. So he'll probably, maybe not, but probably be reborn the second after he dies. So it would be pointless for him to be back on the Golden Throne. And the whole point in the setting is that they are struggling to keep the Golden Throne functioning. It is actively failing. So if he does die or gets removed from it, they probably won't be able to put him back on the throne because it won't work. And the biggest reason that this is easily the worst bit of lore released by GW is because it's just GW saying, hey, no matter what happens or how many years pass, we will never return the Emperor to the setting of 40k. He is going to stay on the Golden Throne, cry about it. That's essentially what it is. Now, me personally, I think if the Emperor returned, it would be very interesting because there's a lot of stuff around the Emperor's return. Even though it would, if they did happen, it would easily be another 20 years down the road because the Emperor, they would definitely return all the Primarchs before they returned the Emperor. But also, there's the whole Dark God prophecy and a bunch of other stuff. But this is essentially just GW saying, hey, stop talking about the Emperor returning. It's never going to happen. Which, if you want to do that, fine. It's your franchise. But man, GW is just making some of the worst decisions, both as a company and in the lore. Because to me, this feels incredibly egotistical and just redundant. They could have just kept the Terminus Decree a secret. Or if they did reveal it, not make it just them saying, hey, Emperor will never return, and if for some reason he does, no one's going to let it actually happen. But that's my thoughts on this current lore drop with the Grey Knights. Again, I just had an unbelievable urge to make a video on it, and whether this video does good or well, it's just going to be what it is, but I think it's a stupid piece of lore, the worst GW's put out, and I have no idea what could be going forward, but 10th edition is, man, lore-wise, they have not been doing all that great. That's all I have to say on the matter, and I may not do more 40k videos like this just because I'm going to be sticking to the Toku stuff, but that's all I got for now. I'm working on some other videos. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. I'll see you guys in the next videos, and I don't really have an outro for a 40k related thing, so I'll just see you guys next time.